Hi, welcome to Beth Cooks the Internet. Today I'm making a Panang curry, courtesy of TasteBetterFromScratch.com. The very first thing I'm going to do is get my rice started. I'm going to add water, so then while the curry is cooking, the rice is cooking, and everything should be done at about the same time. Chicken breast is what I had on hand for today, but I've also made this recipe with chicken thighs, and it's very tasty. This is going to cook in the curry. You can also make this recipe with shrimp or tofu. Those are also proteins that would cook in the curry. So this is a really easy one-pot meal. There are a lot of different ways to prep a bell pepper. I've seen some pretty fancy moves where they kind of roll the pepper across the knife. I tend to just take off the top and then take off the sides. Two teaspoons of ginger. If you're using minced garlic like this that's prepped and ready to go from the store, about a half teaspoon is equivalent to 1 clove. I need 4 cloves, so 2 teaspoons. We need 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. This is gonna get mixed in with some of the coconut milk before it goes into the curry, and it's gonna help thicken the entire dish. The amount of Panang curry paste you put into the curry really drives the flavor and spice level of the dish. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, and I usually do a nice healthy rounded tablespoon because I like the spice level. We're going for 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. It goes into the curry at the same time, and I'm running out of prep bowls. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of lime juice, which is about half a lime. 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. The recipe calls for 1 cup of loosely packed fresh basil, and I have dried basil, so I'm only going to use about a teaspoon, maybe a tablespoon of my dried basil in the dish because dried herbs are a lot stronger than fresh herbs. Okay, I've got all my ingredients measured out and ready to go. This curry comes together really easily. Basically, we're cooking the ingredients in the order it takes for them to cook, starting first with the onions. I'm going to add a swirl of oil to the pan, and in go the onions. The onions are looking a little brown and translucent, which is what I'm looking for. It takes about 2 minutes as recommended by the recipe. Up next are the bell peppers, garlic, and ginger. And usually at this point in the recipe, I would add salt and pepper to my vegetables, but because that fish sauce is so strong, we're gonna wait to season the curry until the very end. Next, we're adding the curry paste and the peanut butter. We're gonna cook it for about a minute before adding the coconut milk. This is gonna happen in 3 steps. First, I'm gonna add 1 whole can of coconut milk. Second, I'm gonna add half of the second can. Then I'm gonna take the cornstarch, add it to that remaining half, make a slurry, and then add that back into the curry. Our curry is at a simmer, so it's ready for the chicken. It's time to see if the chicken's cooked. I'm going to scoop out a piece and cut it in half and see what it looks like in the middle. This chicken is cooked. Now we're going to add the sugar, fish sauce, lime, and basil. Let that meld for another couple minutes, and then we're ready to eat. I'm going to do a quick taste for seasoning and add any salt or pepper if it needs it. It's really good. I think the salt level is good. The fish sauce we added was plenty, but I am gonna give it a couple cracks of black pepper. Everything's done, and now we're ready to serve it up. We're gonna serve our curry over rice. You can use brown rice or any kind of rice you'd like. We did white jasmine this time. And here comes the curry. First, in goes the rice. Then the curry right on top. And there we have it, Panang curry over white rice from TasteBetterFromScratch.com. Thanks so much for joining me on this episode, and if you have any recipes or ingredients you'd like me to research, please send them my way. You can find me at BethCooksTheInternet.com.